The floor was already polished to a mirror shine. Yet Josie Callahan still knelt there, wiping it again. Slowly, carefully, obsessively. Because in a place like this, perfection wasn't expected. It was demanded. 3 weeks. 3 weeks working at the Mercer estate. And still, the fear hadn't left her bones. Not the kind you talk about. The quiet kind. The kind that sits in your chest and whispers, one mistake, and everything disappears. Her job, her sister's tuition, the fragile, barely held together life waiting for her back in Queens. The Mercer estate in Greenwich, Connecticut, wasn't a home. It was a kingdom. Ceilings that stretched like cathedrals. Marble floors so cold they seeped through skin into bone. Walls dressed in paintings worth more than her entire existence. Every corner whispered wealth. Every step reminded her, you don't belong here. Josie moved through it like a shadow. Unseen, unheard. And that was exactly how she survived. Because invisible meant safe. Invisible meant no one noticed her shaking hands. No one asked why. The rules were simple. Don't speak unless spoken to. Don't ask questions. Keep your head down. Work. Josie followed them perfectly. In 3 weeks, she had seen Ashton Mercer exactly 4 times. Each time, no more than 30 seconds. He didn't walk. He moved like something dangerous. Controlled. Silent. Untouchable. A man surrounded by power and secrets. And never once, not once, did he look at her. Not really. The closest had been a hallway moment. She pressed herself against the wall. He passed like she was part of it. And that was enough. That was expected. That was normal. Until today. The moment everything changed, Josie was mopping the 2nd floor when she saw it. A flicker. Movement outside the window. Down by the pool. A small figure stepped into the sunlight. Zoe Mercer. 5 years old. Black hair tangled like sleep still clung to it. Blue eyes. Too heavy. Too old. Too sad for a child. In her arms, a worn teddy bear. The one her mother gave her. The one she never let go. Josie froze. Her stomach tightened instantly. Because she knew the rule. Everyone knew the rule. Zoe was never allowed near the pool alone. Never. Not ever. She couldn't swim. She feared water. No one said why. But everyone knew not to ask. And yet, there she was. Walking closer. Carefully placing the teddy bear on a chair. Like she was protecting it. Like she already knew what might happen. Then she sat. Feet dangling above the water. Josie held her breath. Maybe she'd just sit. Maybe someone would come. Maybe Zoe stood. The fall, she walked along the edge. Arms stretched wide. Balancing. 1 step. 2. 3 slip. Time shattered. Her foot slid. Her body twisted. Her mouth opened, but no sound came. And then, she was gone. Swallowed by 13 feet of silent, blue water. The decision Josie didn't think. She didn't hesitate. She ran. Dropped everything. Flew down the stairs. Out the door. No shoes. No plan. No fear. Only one thought: move. Because in that moment, she wasn't invisible anymore. She was the only one there. The dive, the water hit her like ice and fire at once. Shock. Burn. Silence. She forced her eyes open beneath the surface. Pain stabbed through them. But she didn't stop. Below her, Zoe was sinking. Slowly. Arms weak. Movements fading. Giving up. Josie kicked. Hard. Her body remembered what her mind didn't have time to process. For years of competitive swimming, instinct took over. Pull. Kick. Pull. Kick. She reached her. Wrapped an arm around her chest, and Zoe fought. Panicked. Wild. Clawing. Scratching. Desperate to survive. Josie didn't let go. Couldn't. Wouldn't. Even if it killed her. The fight for air, the dress tangled around her legs, dragging her down. The weight of the child pulling her deeper. Her lungs screamed. Burned. Collapsed inward. She needed air. Now. The surface felt impossibly far. And then, a thought. Cold. Sharp. I'm going to die here. No one will even know. Paige waiting for her Sunday call. That would never come. Her sister, alone. Again. And something inside her snapped. Not fear. Fury. Raw. Violent. Alive. She kicked. Harder than she ever had. For Paige. For Zoe. For herself. For survival. The surface she broke through. Air slammed into her lungs like fire reversed. Painful. Beautiful. Alive. Zoe coughed. A weak sound. But real. Josie dragged them both to the edge. One arm. One breath at a time. Until her feet touched ground. She lifted Zoe out, laid her on the concrete. Waited. 1 second. 2, Zoe coughed. Water spilled out. Color slowly returning. She was breathing. She was alive. The father arrives, the door slammed open behind them. Footsteps. Fast. Heavy. Desperate. Josie looked up and saw Ashton Mercer running. Not walking. Not controlled. Running like a man whose world was ending. His face, unrecognizable. Fear. Raw. Unfiltered. He dropped beside Zoe. Hands shaking. Voice breaking. Zoe. Zoe, she coughed. Looked up. I'm okay, Papa. Then, she saved me. The first look, Ashton turned. Slowly. And for the first time, he saw her. Really saw her. Not a maid. Not invisible. But a person. Soaked. Shaking. Alive. The one who had pulled his daughter from death. He grabbed her arm. Pulled her to her feet. Didn't let go. Like if he did, she'd disappear. Then his hand moved. To her face. Warm against her freezing skin. Gentle. Reverent. You saved my daughter. Not a question. A truth. Do you understand what that means? Josie swallowed. I just did what anyone would. He shook his head. No, his voice hardened. Not everyone risks their life for someone else's child. His eyes locked into hers. And then, the words that changed everything. You'll never leave here. The turning point, not a threat. Not a command. A vow. Heavy. Unbreakable. Zoe looked at her. Not scared anymore. Trusting. Completely. And in that moment, Josie understood. Her life had just changed forever. He stood close behind her. Closer than she had realized. Close enough that she caught the quiet scent of wood and soap on his shirt. No suit. No tie. Just the sleeves of a flannel rolled up. Hair slightly tousled from a slow morning. For a moment, he looked ordinary. Like someone she might pass in a cafe. Someone she might smile at. Thank you, she said softly, turning back to the board. He didn't leave. Instead, he moved beside her, silent, deliberate. A pan on the stove. Flame lit. Oil poured. No questions. No hesitation. Just helping. The kitchen moment they cooked together in the small cabin kitchen. And somehow, it felt natural. Too natural. She handed vegetables. He stirred. He reached for salt. She had it ready before he asked. She tilted the pan. He held the plate steady. Like they had done this 100 times before. But they hadn't. Not once. And that ease. It unsettled her just as much as it comforted her. Rain drummed steadily against the roof. Oil hissed softly in the pan. And without understanding why, Josie spoke. The bridge, rain always brings me back, she said quietly. To the whitest stone bridge. A pause. My parents died there. The words came out calm. Too calm. November storm. I was 19. Paige was 12. The car lost control. The police said they didn't suffer. She swallowed. I nodded, because Paige was crying beside me. And I needed at least one thing to give her. Silence filled the room. Heavy. Alive. Shared loss. Ashton didn't say I'm sorry. Didn't offer empty comfort. Instead, he turned toward her, and in his eyes was something far more dangerous. Understanding. Real understanding. The kind that only comes from loss. Since then, Josie continued quietly. I've been afraid of rain. And bridges. And night. And loving someone too much. Because loving meant losing. And losing was something she could not survive again. Jenna the pan crackled softly. Rain intensified. Then Ashton spoke. Low. Measured. Unexpectedly gentle. Jenna used to sing. Josie looked up. She sang off-key, he said. Every song, wrong pitch, wrong rhythm, wrong lyrics. A faint smile touched his lips. She knew she was terrible. So she sang louder. A pause. She collected antique cups. Drove hours to flea markets for cracked porcelain she insisted had a soul. And still got lost in our own neighborhood. The smile faded. The photograph in the bedroom, his voice lowered. I turned it face down. Because I couldn't bear seeing her smile in a world where she doesn't exist anymore. A breath. But I couldn't throw it away either. Because that would mean she's never coming back. The understanding. Josie placed the chopsticks down slowly. She understood. Not on the surface. But deep, bone deep. Holding on. Not because you want to remember. But because you're afraid to forget. The moment, she would have liked you, Ashton said suddenly. Josie stilled. Jenna always said I needed someone who wouldn't yield to my temper. A pause. She was right. The space between them shifted. Smaller. Closer. He reached out slowly. His fingers touched her chin. Lifted her face. Gentle. His thumb traced her jaw. Soft. Careful. Almost unreal. Josie rose onto her toes, without deciding to. Her body leaned toward his. Her eyes began to close. His breath warmed her lips. Closer. Closer. Interruption, Papa. The moment shattered. They stepped back instantly. Reality crashing in. Zoe upstairs. Zoe sat trembling, tears streaking her face. The water came back, she sobbed. I was sinking again. Ashton dropped beside her. And Josie saw something impossible. He didn't stand at a distance. Didn't hesitate. He pulled Zoe into his arms. Held her tightly. Whispered into her hair. Present. Fully. Completely. The shift. Josie stepped back quietly. Watching. Understanding. A second wall inside Ashton had fallen. The threat. Later that night, Ashton stood in the doorway. His face had changed. Back to stone. The cartel has photographs. Of Zoe. Of the estate. Of you. Silence. 3 images, he said. Your face is clear. A pause. You matter to them now. 2 meanings. Both understood. The attack, the explosion, came without warning. Sharp. Wrong. Not thunder. Another blast. Closer. Zoe looked up. What was that? Josie smiled. Probably nothing. But her phone lit up. 2 guards down. Safe room. Now. And everything changed. Control and chaos. Josie crouched to Zoe's level. Let's play a game, she said softly. The quietest hide and seek ever. Zoe smiled. I'm really good at that. I know. Safe room. The steel door opened. Josie placed Zoe inside. Kissed her forehead. I'm right outside. The door sealed. And Josie collapsed. Panic. Her breath vanished. Chest tightening. Vision darkening. Rain. Bridge. Loss. Past crashing into present. Until Josie. A small voice through steel. Zoe. And that voice pulled her back. The fight gun in hand. Safety off. Footsteps approaching. Glass shattering below. Voices. Danger. Real. The first man appeared. She fired. Hit. Second shot. Mississippi. Chaos erupted. Then silence. Aftermath clear. The guard's voice. Safe. Alive. Josie opened the safe room. Zoe flew into her arms. I stayed quiet, she whispered. I won. Breaking point. Josie held her. Tightly. Too tightly. And then, she broke. Not quietly. Not controlled. But completely. And Zoe held her back. Don't cry, she whispered. I'm here. Return. When Ashton returned, he didn't assess damage. He searched for life. And when he saw them, everything stopped. Confession. I shot a man, Josie said. Flat. Empty. You protected my daughter, Ashton replied. I don't want to be extraordinary, she broke. I'm tired. And for the first time, she said his name. Ashton. The promise. Then let me hold you when you're tired. Not alone anymore. And for the first time in her life, she believed it. The kiss under the stars. Jasmine in the air. Fear still present. But no longer in control. For the first time since my parents died, I have a home. And this time, no one interrupted. Josie woke before sunrise. Not because she wanted to. Because something felt wrong. The cabin was quiet. Too quiet. No rain. No wind. No Zoe's soft footsteps. No Ashton. She sat up slowly. Heart already racing. Even before she understood why. Then she noticed it. The bed beside her. Cold. Untouched. The disappearance. Ashton, she called softly. No answer. She stepped outside. The forest stood still. Silent. Watching. And then, tire marks. Fresh. Cutting through the mud. Leading away from the cabin. Fast. Not controlled. Not planned. Taken. The realization. Her stomach dropped. No guards. No security. No sign of struggle, which meant only one thing. This wasn't random. This was precise. Professional. Planned. And suddenly, those 3 photos came back to her mind. You matter to them now. Her blood ran cold. They didn't come for him, her voice broke. They came for us. The shift in Josie. Something inside her changed. Not fear. Not panic. Something sharper. Colder. Focused. The girl who cleaned floors was gone. This was the girl who survived loss. Who fought water. Who pulled life from death. And now, she had something to protect. The hidden room back inside the cabin. She started searching. Drawers. Walls. Shelves. Then, click. A false panel behind the bookshelf opened. Inside, weapons. Cash. Passports. Files. Names. Photos. Deals. And at the center, One name circled in red. Rafael Varga. The enemy, not just a criminal. A ghost. A cartel leader who didn't exist on paper, but controlled everything in the shadows. Drugs, arms, people. And now Zoe. The message, a phone inside the hidden compartment lit up. Unknown number. Video. She pressed play. Static. Then Zoe. Tied. Alive. Crying silently. And a voice behind the camera. Calm. Controlled. Terrifying. You took something from me, Mr. Mercer. Now I take something from you. A pause. If you want your daughter back, come alone. No guards. No police. Or next time, she won't be breathing. The video cut. Josie stood frozen. Hands shaking. Heart pounding. But not from fear anymore. From something else. The decision, no, she whispered. Then louder, no, she grabbed the gun. Loaded it. Checked the chamber. Her hands didn't shake this time. They think he's coming, her eyes hardened. They're wrong. The pursuit, she took one of the hidden cars. Black. Unmarked. Fast. The engine roared to life. And as she drove, the road blurred. But her mind didn't. It sharpened. Every instinct alive. Every sense awake. Cut 2. Ashton darkroom. Chair. Rope around his wrists. Blood on his lip. But his eyes, still dangerous. Still unbroken. Rafael Vargas stepped into the light. Elegant. Calm. Deadly. You built an empire, Ashton, he said. But you made one mistake. A pause. You thought you could protect everything. Ashton smirked. Low. Cold. You don't know what I'm capable of. Vargas smiled. Oh, I do. A beat. But she doesn't. Back to Josie, the location pinged. Abandoned industrial dock. Far from the city. Perfect for something no one was supposed to survive. Josie slowed the car. Turned off the engine. Silence. Then, she whispered to herself. Breathe. Just like the water. Just like before. The infiltration, she moved in the shadows. One guard. Down. Silent. Second. Turned. Too late. Third. Gun raised. She fired first. No hesitation. No fear. Only purpose. The rescue, she found Zoe first. Still tied. Still scared. But alive. Josie? Zoe whispered. I knew you'd come. Josie dropped to her knees. Untied her. Held her tight. I told you. I'm right outside. The final room then. She heard it. Ashton. And Varga. She stepped inside. Gun raised. Let him go. Silence. Varga turned slowly. Eyes scanning her. Curious. Amused. So you're the one. A smile. The maid who became a problem. Josie didn't blink. Wrong. Her voice steady. I'm the one who ends. This. Cliffhanger gunshots echoed. Loud. Violent. Unforgiving. Screen cuts to black.